Hello, people. I just got back from my trip. The trip to Yellowstone was awesome, and I saw Rebirth, which today I'm going to be discussing that, and also doing a room tour of my collection and stuff. So, yeah. First of all, uh, I feel like the movie is okay, but just like I don't know. I'm not really a fan of it that much. Um, don't get me wrong though, the movie is pretty good though, but I just feel that Rebirth, I feel like it was kind of forced. Like some of the dinosaur scenes, you only get like one dinosaur. Uh, it's like the T Rex got a scene, Spino got a scene, Mosasaurus got a scene, um, D Rex got a scene. It was very forced, I feel, but I still liked it. It was an enjoyable movie. Um, Click out of here if you don't want to hear spoilers because I'm gonna go into spoilers now. So yeah. Um, at the beginning of the movie with D-Rex, well you can see here up we got D-Rex and all the big dinos up here. The Giga. Oh my gosh. Something I just get annoyed about with Giga is that it's got this ridiculous action feature, but the Giganotosaurus, it's still a pretty cool figure with that cuckoo action feature. But anyway, the D Rex, the Distortus Rex. Um, at the beginning of the movie, I kind of find it a bit ridiculous how the door mechanisms, like keeping the D Rex in his cage, a Snickers wrapper ended up causing a malfunction, and then stuff went wrong, and then D-Rex attacked somebody, and somehow he escaped and stuff like that. It just goes to show, kind of referencing. I'm always yawning when I'm talking. Anyway, the D-Rex, escapes. It's like kind of representing chaos theory. Like anything could go wrong, like Dr. Malcolm said before. But yeah, D-Rex's scene, it was pretty cool. He just like walks in through the smoke, sneaks up on the dude, and then he just grabs him and takes him away. And he's like, no. Um, so like this, I just brought in a human figure. Like, I like how, the D-Rex kind of just sneaks up on him, like, he's very intelligent, he's being curious, he's like, what's this? Oops, knocked it over. He's like, what is this? And then he grabs him, and then he kind of like flips him upside down on in front of the glass and stuff. And then he's like, all right, I'm done playing. And he walks away and then lifts the guy into his mouth, like, nom nom nom. But yeah, I like how they kind of put in that like horror aspect to Rebirth. They did like a sort of kind of horror-y sort of thing. But then, after that, they explain like dinosaurs are dying off and stuff, and then we get introduced to Zora Bennett and Martin Cribb, and they are talking about like the operation and stuff like that, and like what they're gonna do. Apatosaurus appears, which that's kind of nice. We get to see Apatosaurus at the beginning of the movie suffering, just like we saw in Dominion, actually, which is kind of funny. Um, and then uh, Martin and Zora go over to the museum, and then they visit Dr. Loomis, who's going to be like supervising them and stuff. I find it a bit ridiculous because like the Quetzalcoatlus is matching the Quetzalcoatlus skeleton is going to be matching the Quetzalcoatlus in the movie. Like, I don't know why they decided to do that. I feel like they should have just done like some random Quetzalcoatlus skeleton and been like, yeah, oh, there's a new species of Quetzalcoatlus on Rebirth Island or something like that. That would have been nicer. Um, but again, it's movie stuff, and also in the movie, like there's this like cartoon show or something like that. Uh, there's some sort of cartoon thing that plays in the background, showing off like the dinosaurs that we're gonna see in the movie. I kind of find that a bit ridiculous because like who's been to that island before, and like how do they know that's what Spinosaurus looks like? Because there's an animated Spinosaur, and I think Titanosaurus and Quetzalcoatlus and Mosasaur are also in there. Um, but yeah, honestly, the movie is it's still a pretty good movie. I do like it. And then they go over to the island to find Kincaid. Yeah, they go to the island to find Kincaid, Duncan, um, and they're discussing some stuff. And I like how Dunkleosteus made an appearance. I mean, a dead one anyway. His head was caught in a net or something like that. But it was still nice because we for a while we just had Mosasaurus, and then I guess the second Mosasaurus. Now I don't know why everybody's thinking that in Rebirth they say that this Mosasaurus is this Mosasaurus. No, I think they were saying that this one was created on Rebirth Island, well, Isle Saint Hubert, and that InGen lost track of this one after it escaped from Rebirth Island, and this one is still on Nublar, on Isla Nublar, Jurassic World Island. But anyway, it was nice to see Dunkleosteus. And then we also saw a little Pteranodon just appear for a few seconds. It looked a lot like the Lost World Pteranodon, which was nice. And then we go down here. We got more stuff. My Godzilla collection. But anyway, also in Rebirth, we get to see Atwater introduced. He seemed like a pretty cool dude. Later on in the movie, unfortunately, he dies, and I was kind of like, man, really? They had to kill him off? I feel like that character had a bit more potential. But, yeah. And then, you know, uh, they go off to the island and stuff. They're like, dun 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 dun. That theme plays or something like that. Uh, they go off to Rebirth Island. It's super exciting. They're going on an adventure. Um, it's super exciting and stuff. And, uh, you know, the view, they show like some pretty nice shots from the boat, like they're riding off on the boat and the sunset and stuff. Those are pretty beautiful shots, in the movie. And then, we have character development. We get to learn more about the mercenaries, which is nice. Because, Zora and Duncan and the other characters, you never really get to learn that much about the mercenaries. Like in the Lost World. We got, what's his name again? I can't remember what his name was. The leader of the Dino Catchers people in the Lost World. Not Peter Ludlow, the other, Roland Tembo, yeah, that guy who wanted to capture the T-Rex. He's like, I'm done with the company of death. So you kind of get to learn a small bit about the mercenaries, but that's kind of all you get. I just have all the human figures down here. Oh, look, there's Loomis. Dr. Henry Loomis. But, yeah. And then, we move on to, the Mosasaurus, where they're, like, going after the Mosasaur. That scene was pretty cool. I really like how the Mosasaurus kind of, like, jumps around in the water like he's a big whale and stuff. I really like that, how they make it seem more like an animal instead of this like crazed beast or something. Um, Man, I'm just rambling on. Anyway, uh, they captured the DNA and stuff. And they're like, woohoo! They get closer to the island, and then the Spinosaurus attack, and then that's when Atwater ends up dying. And then I'm like, well, darn it. That's kind of sad, because like that character I actually kind of liked a lot, and then they decided to kill him off, and that actually kind of impacted me a bit. I don't know why, but like in the other Jurassic movies, the characters' deaths, it's like, oh, they died. But then in Rebirth, for some reason, I don't know, like the way Gareth Edwards directed it, like in the movie, it does kind of impact you when you see like each character die off. Um, and then they're like, they get ambushed by the Spinos. Martin stops. Oh yeah, the family. I completely skipped over the family. Yeah, the family gets attacked by the Mosasaur too. Their boat gets flipped over. I don't know why the Mosasaur didn't do any more damage to the boat, like you know, eat the boat or something like that, and the Spinosaurus jump off. Maybe the Mosasaur was just being curious and playing with it. But you know, the the scene with the family, we got an introduction to Xavier, the boyfriend. He's kind of laid back and stuff, not really doing his job. Uh, and then the dad getting annoyed. Typical, dad doesn't approve of parents not approving of their daughters' boyfriends and stuff like that. Um, but after that, they get rescued and stuff. More like drama. Like, who are you? What? You're bringing kids to this island out in the water? Seriously, that's a horrible idea. Then they talk a bit and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Panthera's knocked over on his side. How did that happen? Echo is also kind of on her side. I'll fix that later. Dude, I have so many dinosaurs. I have to like try and display them with each other, but it's like really hard to show them all to you because like some of them are behind others. After they get to the island, the Spinosaurs attack another person. I don't remember what her name was. I think Nina or something like that. But that scene was also actually kind of impacting too. It's like, dang, Duncan is losing all his friends. They're all dying. And then of course in here I got some vehicles and stuff. Oh, a chip bag. Never knew I had that in here. Oh, and then there's some cylinder incubator thingy. I don't know. I just kept it because it's like cool. Dino reveal thingy. I like how they do like incubator sorts of things. But yeah, and then after that, they're on the island. They venture off into the jungle. They also get separated, so it's like ooh, beef and stuff like that. And then after that, they're like, all right, let's get the next dinosaur, because they're after the Mosasaurus, Titanosaurus, and Quetzalcoatlus. The next one that they get the DNA of is the Titanosaurus. So it was a pretty nice, majestic scene when it's like, oh, all calm. The Titanosaurus aren't gonna get you. Look at my horrendous Lego dinosaur thing. But yeah, and then after that, the river raft scene with the T-Rex. That was like the T-Rex's only scene in the movie. Like literally, it was just the river raft scene. Somehow the raft was like it was attacked by the T-Rex, but somehow the raft didn't pop, which is ridiculous. Like, I don't know how that's possible. Like the T-Rex has a super powerful bite, man. Like the bite of a T-Rex could crush bone. Like how did that raft not get popped or something like that? We get to see Dolores in that scene too. It'd be funny if like there were actually not just one Dolores, but like one Aquilops, but there were actually multiple, and they thought it was the same dinosaur, but it was actually multiple coming around trying to get food and stuff. But yeah, it was just one Aquilops. But yeah, the T-Rex scene. Unfortunately, that whole thing was basically, literally, the whole scene was spoiled in trailers and stuff, TV spots. But I still like that scene. Um, then they're getting closer to the special ops team. Yeah, they're climbing a mountain. The Quetzalcoatlus attacks and stuff. And man, I feel like that was a another one of the deaths happens when they're getting the Quetzalcoatlus's DNA. Like what's his name? Darn. Bashir Sylvain's character. What was his name? Leclerc. Yeah, Leclerc's death, man. It was kind of like also impacting, like because I don't know, like Leclerc's death scene. It was kind of gruesome, like dark. It was kind of impacting, like the way Gareth Edwards had the scenes play out. It impacts you a bit. It's kind of disturbing, seeing him, the dude just like in the Quetzalcoatlus's beak, like kind of like almost half dead. It was like, oh dang, they're trying to pull him up before the Quetzalcoatlus catches him, but then unfortunately, it catches him and then it eats him. It's like, oh man. Uh, Spoilers here. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch the movie now. Um, but yeah, and then after that, oh yeah, I forgot to mention other background creatures. We also get to see Anorognathus, which is like this little, it's a little green flying pterosaur thing that we get to see a few times. And then we also get to see this like weird amphibian thing. I think it's like I don't know, some sort of amphibian salamander thing. Uh, It's like swimming around in the waters and stuff. I think it's like Acanthostega or something like that. Um, and then we have the Velociraptors. Oh my gosh, dude, the Velociraptor scene was kind of disappointing. I mean, I like how we actually got to see Velociraptor hunting, like he's sneaking up on the boyfriend, and he's like taking a whiz, and the raptors are like right behind him, and they're like hissing and like they're sneaking up on him, and they're about to get him, and then um, that was actually the only scene that the raptors appear. And I feel like it was kind of disappointing too, because then after that, pretend this Dimorphodon is a Mutodon. Like, dude, the stinking Mutodon comes down, it's like, bam, bam, dead. And then it just flies off with the raptor, and it's like, bro, are you kidding me? Seriously? That's like the only scene we get with Velociraptor, and it's, like being all dangerous and stuff, it's about to get them. And then, like, a freaking Mutodon comes down, it's like, nope, you're dead. And there were two raptors. And somehow, like, maybe the Mutodon scared off the other raptor, but, like, come on, man. Like, seriously? That's all we get of the raptors. I don't know, it just kind of frustrates me that they decided to use the raptors for that scene where they get beat up by the Mutodon. It's like, come on, man. Give raptors some respect. It's like, the Raptors got JP3'd. Like in Jurassic Park 3, you know what I mean. T-Rex got killed by the Spino, but in Rebirth, the Raptors get killed by a Mutodon. Like, bro, they got JP3'd. I'm kind of annoyed that the Raptors only got that scene in Rebirth. It felt kind of forced, like they were trying to stuff the Velociraptors and the T-Rex in there. Because, T-Rex and Velociraptor appear in every single movie, but I feel like in this one they kind of forced it. Then Dilophosaurus actually appeared in the river raft scene. Yeah, so like Dilophosaurus, does a little cameo where, they're dragging the raft, and then Dilophosaurus is eating the dead Parasaurolophus carcass that the T-Rex had killed, and then it runs off when the T-Rex wakes up. But, yeah, Dilophosaurus, that was a nice little cameo they did with the Dilo. It's not every day you get to see him as much, But yeah, it was still pretty nice, little cameo. I don't really feel like Dilophosaurus needed to be there, but he did appear, which was cool. Okay, guys, we're approaching the end of this video. I guess I'll just do a shout out to anybody who has made it this far into the video. Like, thank you for supporting me, like, this far, because I've kind of just been rambling on and on and on and on. It's just been, like, non-stop. But, yeah. At the end of the movie, well, I think that's what happens at the end of the movie. Like, they meet up again, more beef, Martin gets in trouble and stuff, then, Martin Krebs, takes the case and handcuffs it to his arm. And then he betrays them or something like that when the Mutodon attacks again. And then they all get scattered and stuff. The Mutodon scene, I feel like it was kind of like whatever. It was kind of whatever, the Mutodon scene. Like, you just get to see it jump down out of nowhere and attack them and stuff. But it wasn't really as impacting as, like, when you get to see the D-Rex and the Indominus Rex and Indoraptor and all those other creatures. Like, the Mutodons kind of just, like, appear and they attack. And they kind of, like, they're antagonizing. And then one of them gets, killed by, what's her name? Zora. She shoots them with the gun and stuff. But, then we get to see Ankylos. Oh, wait, I forgot. Again, I forgot. At the end of the Quetzalcoatl scene, Loomis actually falls, and he's like, oof. He lands in the water, then he jumps out of the water, and in that scene, we get to see the red Compies, the Compsognathus. I actually hope that the Compies, the red Compsognathus, does get a little minifig, like they've done for the past few years or something like that. Because, those Compies were actually pretty cool Compies. I like the colors they had. But yeah, going back to, the end of the movie, D-Rex attacks, you get to see the helicopter landing, and then, the D-Rex just comes out of nowhere. Dude, literally. Like, Loomis is like, hey, over here. And then the, like, kaiju-sized D-Rex comes down, and then just has the helicopter in his hand, and he attacks it. He's, like, biting it and stuff. He's like, nom 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 nom. He attacks the rescue helicopter, and then yeets it away, and, it explodes and stuff. It was a wild scene there. It was like, what the? We're like, D-Rex. We see him walk in the fog behind Loomis, and the helicopter's coming down. It's like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And then out of nowhere, D-Rex just comes down with the helicopter in his hands. It's like, oh, dang. Like, dude, the D-Rex it was crazy, man. I think, at the end of the movie, D-Rex comes back, he's chasing them. Oh yeah, and Martin Krebs' death, D-Rex, he's like walking around. I don't know how he didn't see the little girl, because, they're escaping the Mutodon, they're in the tunnels, and then, the daughter escapes through the bars, and she's like activating the panel, and then D-Rex comes down, and somehow, I guess because, he has bad eyesight or something, it didn't see her. And then, Martin comes down in the vehicle, Martin comes down in the vehicle, and then D-Rex is like, BAM! And then, like, D-Rex kind of puts the car up, and then gets a hold of Martin, he's like, nom 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 nom, and then he eats some. And that seems kind of crazy. Like, somehow the D-Rex didn't eat the DNA case with all the DNA, because Martin had the case in his hand, and, like, somehow it made it out of the D-Rex's grasp. Like, when it bit Martin in half and stuff, it was like, oh man, Martin is dead. But, like, it bites him in half, and then the case falls, and Zora grabs it. But, that scene where Martin dies, it's like, oh, dang. Once again, Gareth, he makes a very impactful death scene there. And then, they're being chased by the Distortus. Duncan ends up leading the D-Rex away from them so that they can get on the raft and escape. I kind of wish there was a final battle though, because like seeing this, I've heard that D-Rex isn't really meant to be the villain dino, even though marketing has referenced this guy as the villain dino, and then the Spinosaurus being the hero dino, and like Spino. I kind of wish there was a final battle between the Distortus Rex and the Spinosaurus. Um, they really did portray it like the Spinos are gonna fight the D-Rex, and then like maybe even the Tyrannosaurus Rex in Rebirth like comes in and also helps the Spinosaurus take down the D-Rex. But no, they chose to keep it alive, just like the Acid 87, the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3. This one's the only other, like, I guess, villain dino that survived. And like, Gareth did say it's like, oh, you're supposed to feel sorry for it because he has it really sucky. But man, D-Rex, no, it doesn't really seem like he has it that bad. Actually, he seems kind of chill. And, like, I honestly do not feel sorry for it at all. It killed two people in the movie. At the beginning, it killed that lab technician dude, and then at the end, it kills Martin. Although Martin, he was kind of the bad guy, but still. But yeah, I don't really feel sorry for D-Rex. It's like, yeah, I feel like there could have been a final battle where D-Rex ends up being vanquished. I think that would have been really cool. Oh, I just noticed. I don't know if you guys can see here, but there's actually a little bit of like a reddish tint on the top of the Spinosaurus's head and like on the neck. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. It's like really hard to see. But yeah, interesting little detailing there. Forgot to point that out. But yeah, so Rebirth, cool movie. At the end, they escape. Duncan actually ended up surviving because, he's just a likable character. Then, we get to see dolphins and stuff. It's like, dun, 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 dun. No, it's like, na, 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 and then the movie ends. And, yeah. Okay, thank you guys for supporting me and watching this video through, like, all the way to the end. We're ending now. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, like, subscribe, whatever. I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye. Oh hey, look, it's Jimmy.